Morning guys, welcome to the Friday oblique Saturday Waffle. Apologies for this going out late. It's because I was out last night in the pub. I met up, had a cracking night. Met up with, there was 5 guys I used to pal about with at school, and that was a long time ago. We meet, we're lucky if we meet even once a year. But you know what, it's that kind of like friendship that it doesn't matter how long you basically go between seeing each other. When you do get together, it's just like old times. Fantastic night, really good. Ended up in a sort of a rock club. There was a band who were doing like a kind of tribute to Free and Bad Company. So excellent night, really good. I didn't have that much to drink. I mean, I'm not a big drinker at all. I can literally I could go for 6 months and not touch alcohol, and it's not because I'm an old fuddy-duddy, you know, I'm against alcohol. It's just, I think it's just not something me and my wife really do that often. But saying that, when I do get a chance to get out and have a few beers, it's I always appreciate it. So yeah, excellent night. The worst part was waiting in the bloody taxi queue to get home. I think it was about an hour to stand to get back, but really good night, but feel not too bad. Must admit, the older I'm getting, I certainly I can't. Hangovers no longer last just a day; they last a week, and I don't like that at all. So yeah, but no, I didn't have too much to drink, but I had a cracking night. So that was the reason the Friday Waffle didn't go out last night. I was planning to record it yesterday afternoon during my lunch hour. But with the job being what it is, I don't really, I probably stopped for 10-15 minutes now, so it didn't happen. But anyway, you know, a lot of people, I don't think a lot of folk even watch by the time I get the actual video put out, it's usually late on Friday, so I don't think it makes much difference. So anyway, yeah, I hope you've all had a nice week. Weather-wise, it has just been awful. I've lived in Scotland all my life, so I should be used to shit weather, but I've never known such a sort of unbroken period of piss poor weather. Rain, wind. It's the wind that's the worst part. Freezing cold as well. It's just miserable. You know, you get days where you don't even get any daylight at all. It's I can completely get why some people have. Is it sad? Is it seasonal? Oh, I don't know, something disorder, whatever it is. They basically get clinically depressed with the weather and the darkness, and I can totally get that. Everybody gets more fed up when it's horrible weather, but you know, we should be used to it by now. So yeah, I'm just trying to think. Sorry, I'm rubbing my face. I'm just trying to waken myself up. What have I been up to? Running wise, I was out, when was I out? I was out on Thursday, I think it was, and we were doing what's called a fartlek. It's where you basically run really fast for like 20 seconds and then you run slow for a minute and then you run fast. I was doing that on Thursday and I just got so out of breath, and I think it's just down to the weather. I've kind of picked up a wee bit of chill in my chest, so I'm going to have a few days off. I'm not going to run this weekend. Being a runner, you don't like taking time off. You want to always get out. You always think, oh, I should be out running. But apparently, if you've got an infection from the waist, sorry, your neck down, you should not run, because that'll just make it worse. So yeah, that was caused, I blame the piss poor weather. But so what have I been doing this week? Gaming wise, well, I'll come to that in a second. I was through, excuse me, talking about the weather. I was due to fly to a place called Campbelltown, which is away up in the sort of the west coast of Scotland. Now it's about 150 odd miles from where I stay, but the roads are like, they're not even B roads, you know. You've got passing places. The roads are so narrow. You've got to be if a car's coming towards you, one of you has to pull in to let the other car pass. That's what it's like. Or maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, it's not too bad up there, but basically it's about 4 or 5 hours to get there. So I fly when I'm going up, and obviously the weather's been bloody awful, so I checked the weather, I checked the flights the night before. That was on I was flying in the Wednesday morning. Checked the flights on Tuesday, and yep, good to go. Flight was departing at 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. So I up out my bed about 5 o'clock in the morning, left the house, what time is it? Be about 6, quarter to 6. Got to Glasgow Airport for about quarter to 7, and excuse me, obviously checked the arrivals or the departures, and it says gate will be announced later on. So then later on came, and it was go to gate number 1. Made my way to gate number 1, and then sitting. Then I went up and asked. I says, it was like after 8 o'clock. Is there a problem with the flight? And he says, oh yeah, it's delayed due to the weather, probably half an hour, we'll give you an update. And yep, half an hour came, and they came across and says, we regret to inform you that the flight has been cancelled due to inclement weather. Now, it didn't take, you didn't have to be Michael Fish to know that the weather was going to be shit. You know, it's been shit for about a month. High winds, storms, what's it called? Hurricane Desmond or some bloody thing it's called. Britain's been getting battered silly for the last 3-4 weeks. So surely they knew the Tuesday night that the flight wasn't going to go ahead. So yeah, that was a complete waste of my time. All the way through Edinburgh at Glasgow Airport for to be told that the flight was cancelled. So anyway, yeah, that was that. We're supposed to have the computer club, our monthly computer club, which was cancelled due to not bad weather, due to, well, in fact it's quite funny, 2 of the guys that normally come from a place called Fife. Now, to get from Fife to Edinburgh you need to go across the Forth Road Bridge, and some of you may be aware the Forth Road Bridge has been shut. It has been for about 2 weeks, and it's causing absolute chaos. Apparently there's a big crack in it. So because a few guys couldn't get there, we cancelled the computer club. But one of the guys, Bill, who builds his collection, he had the most incredible gaming collection I've ever seen. Half of my collection here belonged to Bill, but Bill invited us across to his house on Wednesday this week. So myself and a couple of my mates went along, and even though Bill has sold off probably half his collection, he's still got this fantastic. It's like going into a sweetie shop as a kid. The stuff that he's got is just absolutely incredible. So yeah, while we were playing, Bill had, I don't know how many systems. He must have tens of thousands of original games, but the only 2 systems that Bill is keeping, and you can make your own mind up about this, is the Amstrad. So Mr. Nova Bug will be happy with that. Bill's keeping his Amstrad because that's his favourite computer, and he's also keeping the CDI, which was obviously a CD based, as a CD interactive, a Philips system. I don't think it did that well. It was one of the first sort of CD based systems. All the kind of games were sort of like, what the hell was it, like multimedia streaming video and that kind of stuff. There was very little gameplay in it. But yeah, Bill put on this game, I can't remember what it was called, and it was like it was quite interesting actually. It was a kind of kids game, but you were like playing, it was kind of like it looked kind of like Dragon's Lair. It was that kind of hand-drawn animation, but you played the part of this kid living in 1950s America. And what was interesting about the game is it had an official licensed music by the Beach Boys. So throughout the game you've got the Beach Boys music, and it was it's not the kind of game I would want to play, but it's interesting when you see just how gaming has evolved over the years. Nowadays it's all about first person shooters and realism. Back then it was you probably, a game like that wouldn't sell. It probably didn't sell that well then, and it probably wouldn't sell now. But yeah, it's interesting seeing. I love looking at all these old systems and just seeing this, because this was all part of what made our hobby interesting. So yeah, that's that. I'm just going to pause it a second. Okay, I was watching, I was on YouTube the other day there, and as you know, it kind of pops up recommending sort of videos to watch. And one of them that came up on my account was Steve Jobs doing the keynote speech when the very first iPhone was released, and it was a full hour and a half. So I started watching it, and it's the first thing that I was so aware of, and it saddens me, is just what a visionary that guy was, Steve Jobs. I do know a few people personally who knew people who worked for Steve Jobs, and apparently he was a bit of a git. He wasn't a particularly nice person. I mean, there's a new film that's just come out, Steve Jobs, is a Danny Boyle film. Not seen it yet, quite fancy seeing it. But yeah, apparently he's portrayed as quite, he didn't have a lot of time for his family, and he was very much, he ruled with an iron fist sort of thing. Not a particularly pleasant person, but as far as being good at what he does, he was just the best. When you watch him up there on stage, he's got a pair of jeans. He's got a pair of jeans, an old top on, and he's drinking a bottle of water. Aye, and when you see Steve Jobs up there, he absolutely exudes passion, energy, and I firmly believe that Apple is a lesser company for him no longer being here. What's incredible, or what's interesting to note, when he's showing off this phone. I mean, nowadays he's showing off the phone, and he was showing you features like watching videos on your phone, and the pinch and zoom thing, and how the keyboard only comes up when you need it, and we now completely take that for granted. We totally take that for granted. Any phone, even the cheapy kind of smartphones, all have the same sort of thing. But it was down to Apple that brought this whole thing to the fore. They really revolutionised phones. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I've got a couple of iPads, and I've got an iPhone. I don't have an Apple Mac, anything like that at all. I'd love to have one, but they're just ridiculously expensive. But guys like Steve Jobs, you need people like him to keep pushing boundaries. Because these guys are able to come up with technology that most of us wouldn't even think about. They basically know, they can see what we want without us even realising we want it, and it's only when they bring out something like the iPhone, the original iPhone, you realise just what an amazing bit of kit it is. But yeah, I'm kind of waffling a bit, but it's interesting to see that, and it just kind of saddened me that Steve Jobs is no longer here. I do believe that Apple isn't the company it was. I mean, it still makes stupendous amounts of money. I don't believe it's certainly lost its heart when Steve Jobs passed away. But aye, that's that. So anyway, anything else? What have I been playing? Excuse me, been playing my Amiga. Still getting stuck into that. Been playing the GPD XD. Been playing that as well. What else? Right, I think time for pickups. Okay, pickups. Now, anyone that watches this channel knows that I don't collect games just for the sake of having them. I buy games or collect games to play, not just to have on a shelf. So a lot of the games that I've had in the past I've sold because I can play them on the SD card things which I've got for all my systems. But in the last, last 2-3 weeks, or maybe slightly more than that, I've started buying games that were iconic for me back in the day, the Commodore 64. So these are a few that I've managed to pick up. Basically, I've got them not to play, but just for the artwork. They all have a special place in my heart. I might have showed you this before. Encounter, Paul Wokes by Novagen, cracking game. My favourite Decathlon game, bar none, is Activision Decathlon. Just love the artwork. Box really iconic. I didn't really play this game, but Interceptor Software were one of the first software companies for the micro, and yeah, some of their cover art was pretty legendary. Bounty Bob Strikes Back, brilliant game, one of the best platformers bar none. Jeff Minter, Lamasoft, his artwork was always fantastic. This is a brilliant game. Attack of the Mutant Camels. Yeah, love that game to bits. Spy Hunter, US Gold. Love it. It's all the games are in the big kind of boxes. Again, another Interceptor Software, Scramble 64. Another classic, Lamasoft Matrix, which went on to spawn Grid Runner. In fact, no, I'll tell you why. Matrix was the sequel to Grid Runner. Way of the Exploding Fist. Don't know how many hours I lost in that game. Year Kung Fu. Best version bar none in my opinion. Hover Bover. I mean, where else would you get a cover like that? That had to be quintessentially English or British. Hover Bover. A totally original arcade game for the C64 featuring outstanding graphics and a soundtrack. Gordon Bennett has borrowed his neighbour's lawnmower. Mow your way across as many of the 16 lawns as you can before the pursuing neighbour arrives and to retrieve his mower. Yep, Hover Bover, great game. First game I ever owned, Crazy Kong, Frogger 64. I got these two games at the same time with my Commodore 64. That's actually not bad. Crazy Kong is bloody awful. It's probably one of the worst games ever. Another Lamasoft, Laser Zone. Don't actually remember playing that one. Few more. Another Interceptor Software, Tales of the Arabian Nights, and it's actually got speech in it. It's bloody awful. Monty on the Run, another classic game. Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Say no more. And just another 4 to go. Whoops a daisy. I think I've showed you this one as well. Loco, Tony Crowther, Alligator Software. The Mighty Grid Runner by Lamasoft. Who can forget the floating head of Mr. Tom, Mr. Toms, what's his name? Kevin Toms, yep. Football Manager, loved that game. And finally Zaxxon. They're all in these hard kind of case things. So yeah, that's the games I've been picking up. Quite chuffed in that. Yeah, pickups. What else have I got? Fellow YouTuber, but albeit he's slightly more successful than me. Now Steve Benway actually looked at this book. Terrible Old Games You've Probably Never Heard Of. Now this is released by Stuart Ashen. Now if you've never heard the Ashens, then what stone have you been living under? Ashens is a fantastic YouTuber. He's kind of, I think he's kind of a semi-professional actor, but his forte is reviewing tat, eating out-of-date food. But he's just got this manner. His sense of humour is fantastic. He's got this this brown sofa, and all you see is his hands most of the time. But yeah, Stuart's been making videos of really bad old games, and he's brought this little book out. So I've not actually read it yet, but it looks really nice. It's really well kind of put together. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And the last thing. Yep. What did I say about not buying something? Da-da! Yep, it's an X-Bone. I actually went out and bought it that night after I made the Friday Waffle, because I think I made the Friday Waffle. Did I make it on the Saturday? I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it came down in price. It came down to it was 200 quid. I think it was 220 quid it cost me. And I just thought, that's too good an offer to turn up, or to turn away. One of the packing games that you get is the Rare Collection, which is 30 rare games. So I decided to treat myself, and yep. So I've had that about a week. What have I been playing in it? I've been playing Doom, the original Doom. Awesome game, absolutely awesome. But yeah, I need to obviously look at picking up some games, but I can't be a video gamer and not have an Expo, and I wouldn't have paid £400 for it, but at 200 quid, you know, what the hell, you can't take it with you, that's what my granny used to tell me. So yeah, so that is it guys. It's quite a kind of monotonous Friday waffle. I've not really had much time to think about what I'm going to talk about. I've only got one question, if I can just find it back in a tick. Okay, right before I do I've got one question here to answer. Before I do that, I made a video of a game called, stop rotating, Mamemeister and the Lost Levels. It was a game on the written for the Nintendo DS, and it was designed by Stuart Campbell, you know, Amiga Power, and sort of video gaming bod. He kind of designed the levels and that kind of stuff, and it's a brilliant game. What's been really pretty cool is I've had a lot of really nice feedback on it. A lot of guys commenting that never actually heard of the game, so they're delighted to get the chance to play it. But yeah, honestly, if you want a challenging platform game that looks really nice graphical touches, then go and check out Mamemeister and the Lost Levels. Absolutely brilliant game, and as I say, it's completely free as well, so go and check it out. So yeah, I've only got the one question, if I can bring this up. Right, I don't want to play my video, whoops a daisy. And again, it is from Kev, he's always very reliable with his questions, which I appreciate hugely. Now Kev is saying here, for the Friday Waffle, Alan, in last week's waffle, did I spy a tattoo on your right arm? Did you have any gaming tattoos, and if not, if you had to get one, what symbol or character would you get? I think for me it would be the Tari Fuji symbol. Do I have any gaming tattoos? No, I've only got the one tattoo, and it's a kind of Celtic type thing. I would be lying if I said it meant any kind of hippie type thing. It's just I liked the design of it, and I got that for my 40th birthday, so it's probably a, you know, what do you call it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Midlife crisis. Yeah, get my tattoo at 40. That's the only tattoo I've got. I've not really had any things to go and get any more. Gaming tattoos, I don't know. I mean, I'm one of these people. I always think that, you know, a tattoo is for life. It really is. You know, once you get a tattoo, that is it. And it has to be something that's not going to look shit, or you're not going to be embarrassed about it later on. You know, putting Mamemeister on your shoulder, would you be embarrassed about that when you're 70? I don't know, but I don't think I would ever get a gaming tattoo on. If I was, what would it be? I don't know, maybe the wee Berserk character, which is like my wee icon for my channel, possibly, but I don't think I would get one, Kev, to be honest with you. I think one tattoo is enough for me, so yeah. So, and listen guys, I'm getting a lot of disturbances outside, so I'm going to cut this short now. So, as usual, thank you much for watching, and take care.